Welcome to the LMS series of lecture from Collegiate and Technical Education Department, Karnataka State Government. Today I am discussing about the solid waste management, which is for the 6th semester civil engineering branch, having subject code 18CV642. I am taking up module number 2, session number 5, about the processing techniques. The contents of the discussion are the component separation, classification, air separation, conventional tube type and zigzag air classifier. So these are the contents of discussion today. The component separation, both manually and mechanically, that can be performed are pictorially shown here. So in the subsequent section, we will be discussing in detail. So it is necessary operation in recovering the resources from the solid waste and where the energy and or other products that can be recovered from the processed waste. So the required separation may be accomplished either manually or by the mechanical means. When manual separation is used, pre-processing of waste is not required in most of the techniques. However, some form of size reduction is very much necessary as a first step. The classification. The process of classification comprehends the screening method and also the air classifier. Both the processes and typical methods are actually discussed in the following section. The screening, as it has been told, the screening of the material is separating out of various sizes into a specific particle size of that particular categories. So this process can also be called as classification. By contrast to screening, separation and sorting involves the separation of materials into the components of different types having different characteristics. So waste can be screened according to the particle size and also at the same time separated into different material characteristics, assuming that material remains in the same category of particle size. So in this case, the screening can also be used for the separation. Screening is performed by separating particles based on the size of the aperture of the screen surface. If the particles are smaller than the openings or the aperture, then they fall through the moving screen and become part of the fine fraction. So the trommel screen is one of the such screen which is commonly used. One of the proven classification system is the trommel screen. So it can be used for primary screening as well as for the final screening of the materials after the size reduction. Trommel diameter, rotational speed, size of the screen openings, the type and number of baffles that can be provided for the inclined cylinders are the factors which influence an output of the of the screen and also on the efficiency of the screening. Since the effective screen area is relatively small, deflectors and other wall assemblies are installed to carry the waste as high as possible up the trommel wall in order to receive maximum screening potential. So this is the pictorial view of the trommel screen. Another one is the oscillating screen. An oscillating screen belongs to the dynamic screening method and has been classified as a clog-free and productive screening method. So it is often used for screening compost. So the compost where the clogs are not there. So the for such kind of materials, so this oscillating screen will be commonly used. The another one is the bucket screen. So because of the ease in operation and clog-free nature, bucket screens are used for construction and demolition waste as well as for the fine-grained materials. This bucket screen is commonly used. The another one is the ballistic separator. This was developed for the separation of the household and commercial waste. It allows a separation of three fractions, that is light, fine, light and heavy fractions. So the operation of these aggregates can be described as the screening classifier. So this screen is the cascading type of classifier constructed of strong grades with a number of step-like arrangement. So the discs are installed so that every disc is placed in the uh, open notch of the neighboring shaft, so that the interstitial distance between the disc will determine the size of the screen opening that can allow the particles to drop on the grate. So another very important method of separation is the air separation. So this technique has been in use for the number of years in the industrial operations for segregating various components from the dry mills. So air separation is primarily used to separate the lighter material, usually organic, from the heavier, that is inorganic materials. The lighter materials may include plastic, paper products, and other organic materials. Generally, there is also a need to separate the light fraction of the organic materials uh, from the conveying air streams, which is usually done by cyclone separators. In this technique, the heavy fraction is removed from the air classifier to the recycling stage or the land disposal, whichever is appropriate. The light fraction may be used with or without further size reduction as fuel for the incinerators or the compost material. So there are the different types of air classifiers which are commonly used. So the one is the conventional chute type. So in this type, when the processed solid waste are dropped into the vertical chute, the lighter material is carried by the airflow to the top, while the heavier materials falls to the bottom of the chute. The control of the percentage of split between the light and heavy fraction is accomplished by varying the waste loading rate, airflow rate, and the cross section of the chute. So while designing the chute, so these parameters will be considered, and hence the control of this split can be actually monitored. A rotary airlock feed mechanism is required to introduce the shredded waste into the classifier. So this is the schematic diagram of this chute air separator. So wherein from the vertical chute, the shredded waste will be dropped, and lighter fraction will be coming up, and heavier fraction will go down, and that will be taken out from the bottom. So air will be circulated through the uh, through this system. Another one is the zigzag air classifier. The threaded waste are introduced from the top of the column at the controlled rate, and air is introduced at the bottom of the column. As the waste drops into the airstream, the lighter fraction is fluidized and moves upwards out of the column, while the heavier fraction falls and settles to the bottom. The best separation can be achieved through proper design of the separation chamber, airflow rate, and influent bed rate or feed rate. So this is the schematic, the pictorial representation of this type of the separator. So that is having a zigzag type of air classifier. So wherein, so you can notice here the zigzag type of vertical column will be there. So there the air will be introduced from the bottom, and so this creates the fluidized lighter particles will come in the upward direction, and while the heavier solid will settle to the bottom. And the another important separator is the magnetic separator. So whenever in order to separate out the magnetic materials, so this type of magnetic separators are used uh, to recover the ferrous materials, and also the shredded solid waste, which is having some magnetic properties. The ferrous materials are usually recovered either after shredding or before air classification. When wastes are mass fired in incinerators, the magnetic separator is used to remove the ferrous materials from the incinerator residue. The magnetic recovery system, which has been used at the landfill disposal sites also. The specific locations where the ferrous materials are recovered will depend on the objectives that is to be achieved, such as reduction of wear and tear on the processing and separation equipment, degree of the product purity which is required, and also the required recovery efficiency. The equipment used for the magnetic separations are the um, suspended magnet. So in this type of separator, the permanent magnet is used to attract the ferrous material from the waste stream. When the attracted metal reaches the area where there is no magnetism, it falls away freely, and hence this ferrous metal is often collected in the container. So this type of separation device is suitable for processing raw refuse where the separators can remove large pieces of ferrous metal easily from the waste stream. So here, wherever the magnetic area is there, that will be attached to the magnetic uh, that particular suspended magnet. And once it is moving away from that one, so when it is entering into the demagnetizing area, so then this ferrous metal will be falling on the moving bed, so that will be collected in the container. Another one is the magnetic pulley. So this consists of a drum type of device containing permanent magnets and electromagnets over which the conveyor or the similar transfer mechanism carries the waste stream. So the conveyor belt conforms the round shaped magnet drum, and magnetic force pulls the ferrous materials away from the falling stream of the solid waste. And these fraction of the waste which is having some magnetic property will be again moving away, and that will be collected here from the separator where that will be separately collected in the container. Another one is the screening method. Screening is the most commonly used method to separate out the solid waste depending upon their size by the use of one or more screening surfaces. The screening has a number of applications in solid waste resource and also energy recovery system. Screens can be used before and after shredding and after air separation of the waste in various applications dealing with both light and heavy fraction of the materials. So note that rotating wire screens, which relatively large openings are used for separation of the cardboards and paper products, while vibrating screens and rotating drum screens are typically used for the removal of glass and other related inert materials for the shredded solid waste. So heavy media separation is also in use. So although the removal of aluminum that can be accomplished in a number of ways, the heavy media separation is the best suited process for this kind of waste. The greatest operating experience exists principally in the automobile recovery industry. So in this process, the feedstock that is rich in aluminum, which is containing in the solid waste, where the non-ferrous materials and glass are again that has to be removed, is dumped into a liquid which has a high specific gravity. The specific gravity is maintained at a higher level than that of the aluminum to float and other materials remain submerged. So at present, the major disadvantage of this method is that the optimum size of plant requires 200 to 2000 to 3000 tons per day as the feedstock. Another important method of sorting is the optical sorting. Optical sorting is mostly used in the separation of the glasses from the waste stream, and this type of sorting can be accomplished by identification of the transport properties of the glass that is to be sorted out from the opaque material like stones, ceramics, bottles, caps, corks, etc. in the waste stream. Optical sorting involves the compressed air blast that removes the or separates the glasses from the other waste, whether it is a plain or colored. So an optical sorting machinery is, however, complex and little bit expensive. Uh, Next one is the hand sorting. So the manual separation of the solid waste component is accomplished at a source. So this kind of solid waste is sorted out, and generated waste is actually that will be collected and finally uh, disposing to the disposal site. The number and types of components sorted depends upon the location and resale value of the waste that is to be separated or segregated. Typically, the components include the newspaper, aluminum, cans and aluminum materials and glass from the residential sources, cardboard, high quality paper, metals, wood from the commercial and industrial sources, metals, etc. etc. So previewing the waste stream and manual removal of the large side materials which is feel to be necessary that can be adopted prior to the separation or the other size reduction techniques. So this is done to prevent or damage the equipment such as radars or the screeners due to items such as rugs and other the materials which will be not amenable for the processing of in those equipments. Next one is the electrostatic separation. A high voltage electrostatic field can be generated and used to separate the glasses from the heavy fraction of the waste. A vibrating pedometers feeds the waste into negatively charged rotating drum. Positive electrode near the drum and a feeder induces a charge in the waste particles. So non-conductors such as glass and clay retain the charge, where as crystalline materials such as rock lose its rapidity, and hence they can be taken drop off from the drop off facility that can be collected. So so this is the crux of the discussion today. So here the in order to create this content, uh, the books referred are the Integrated Solid Waste Management by George Somonoglas and Hilary Thiessen, published by the McGraw-Hill Publishing House. The another book, uh, the Handbook of Solid Waste Management, is referred by the George Somonoglas and Frank Creeth, published by the same McGraw-Hill and McGraw-Hill Publishing House. The websites referred are the NPTEL website and also www.sanfoundry.com. Thank you.